All right, welcome to the Monstrousitous Minute, episode 10. Waiting on Johnny Buck to pop in. But first of all, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and make a couple plugs. First, for the burst speed method, you can see that the link is in the chat, but it's a body weight only program specifically designed for fighters to gain speed. But it's not all that you're going to gain. Your all around fitness will raise. I don't think it's a type of training that a lot of people do. They forget about the base building, which is the actual body weight implementation, which we kind of lost over the years. Physical education in school is not nearly what it used to be. So call it phys ed 101, call it getting better 101, call it dominating your next opponent 101. But yeah, that's where we're at. And second part is, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and you will see our session for tomorrow. It's actually day 2 of the 45 days of discipline program. I want you to try it. It's an absolute ball buster. So get on in there and give that one a try. Post your time, and we're about ready to rock and roll here. I got Johnny Buck popping on.
What up, man?
How are you doing, brother?
Good. So what the fuck am I looking at?
It's me, man. I sent you a picture this morning. I got this thing all tightened up, dude. Got it tightened up.
Just shave that shit.
No, man. No.
At least you have enough kids. You want to get laid with that fucking haircut. So.
Listen here. You haven't lived until you've lived the mullet lifestyle.
I had the mullet in the 80s. Back when it was appropriate.
So I could picture like 7-year-old Johnny Buck walking around.
I was 4. I had a rat tail down like the middle of my back, braided rat tail.
Yeah.
Dude, no wonder I fought so much when I moved to North Carolina.
I think it's awesome, man. And you're up in the hills of North Carolina too, which makes it even better.
Oh yeah, dude, I moved from South Florida. Like my dad's from Jersey, my mom's from Delaware. I'm from South Florida. We moved to like bumfuck North Carolina. I'm like. I fought every day. I won.
It's what made you who you are today, though.
Yeah. Dude, I was watching a video of when I was 2 years old. It was either like Christmas or my birthday. We got a father-son birthday boxing glove set. That's not what it was, but that's what my dad made it. And even then, I was southpaw. I didn't realize it. I was like, holy shit. I'm right-handed. I've been right-handed for everything.
Yeah.
But so I'm fighting for it.
Very cool. So the people that don't know you, which if you're running in my circles, they would know you. But anyway, just introduce yourself. I mean, tell us about Road Combat Club, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yeah, man. I'm Johnny Buck. I own Road Combat Club at Asheville, North Carolina. Met Jeff at the Citadel a million years ago when I was wrestling. I wrestled middle school through college. Wrestled D1 at the Citadel. Got into MMA while I was at the Citadel. Yearling was not thrilled about it. He's glad I won. But he said, don't ever do that again until you graduate. You're on scholarship. Got into MMA shortly after. Had 29 fights, most of them pro. And, got into jiu-jitsu after that. I got bored. I had to find something to compete. So I got bored, got into jiu-jitsu and catch wrestling. I've got a couple catch wrestling world titles. I got a couple jiu-jitsu world titles where you program for both of those. Which is a big part of it. But yeah, man, I just now more on the coaching side, significantly less competing. I'll probably get 1 or 2 in next year. I want to do an ADCC Open. I'm not doing a trials. I'm not gonna train that hard. But mixing, dealing with being married, owning a business, autoimmune. It's been a really tough fucking mix. But yeah, so I'll still compete, do local shit. So we have so many new competitors at the gym that they've never seen me compete. Oh yeah, you guys only see me in the gym, very laid back and fucking being lazy.
There's a different level to it.
It's a different animal for sure.
So I'm not entirely familiar. What do you talk about the ADCC trials? I mean, tell me about that process.
So ADCC trials is, to me, it's a qualifier for the absolute. It's the Olympics of no-gi grappling. It's the absolute best guys in the world, period. They've got a really good rule set. There's a couple guys who have good wrestling pedigrees who do really well. They're not great at jiu-jitsu, but because of the rule set, like wrestling's a big factor. You can't sit guard; it's penalized and stuff like that. So it played right into my strong suits. But I thought about making a legit run. I was doing it for a while. So my dad got diagnosed with cancer, so I put that on the back burner, and then I've just never really made a priority to compete again. So I'm like at that level. I'll still compete locally. I still do things that I want to do, but it's to me, it's one of the most exciting grappling. It is the apex of no-gi grappling, which is the apex of grappling.
Yeah. If memory serves me right, I was programming for Matt Scaff around 17, 18, I believe it was.
Yeah, something like that.
We're trying to get him in. I believe he was going through the trials process, but I didn't know anything about it. I was like, all right, man, well, let's just get ready.
Yeah.
And that wasn't a problem, I think he's, from everything I've read and all the videos I've seen, he's an absolute freak. As a little bitty guy,
He's a monster. Yeah, he's I think he got up to like 170 or something. I'm like, Jesus, don't do that. Be smart. I want to use every bit of size I can on you. But yeah, he's one of my favorite people to train with too. So, but yeah, man, it's I think it's one of the most important things, and that's what I realized is how similar most sports are.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I programmed for those soccer at college, kids going to college wrestle. Let me back up. Those two kids I wrote programs for who are going to play soccer in college.
Mm-hmm.
Most soccer coaches are like, man, let's just run around. Let's just go run 5 miles. I'm like,
no,
that doesn't seem right. I'm like, so I found a study. They sprint less than like 5 minutes a game.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, they're walking around. So it's explosive repeats. So we can do everything we do in wrestling. Okay, cool.
Yep.
And both the kids I coached, one girl, she passed. You have like 6 or 8 weeks to pass the physical fitness test.
Mm-hmm.
If not, they kick you off the team. Like that's even preseason.
Mm-hmm.
And she passed it the first attempt with flying colors.
Yep.
The only girl who beat her was a senior who's faster than she was. So explosive pizza worked. A lot of deadlifts, a lot of squats, a lot of slams and swings. On explosive repeats, some French contrast training because I felt like it. I was like, Jeff made me do it. You're going to suffer too. And then the guy who went to soccer, he walked on a team, like started and then quit school. So
I think a lot of people get kind of twisted up, and you look at broad and you look at the big pictures. Oh, well, they need to be able to do this. But then you forget about the aspect of you need to train their weaknesses to bring that up and make that. It's not necessarily going to be a strength because it's always been a weakness, but you can close that gap pretty quickly. Yeah. So if you have a kid that's heavy aerobic dominant, doing anaerobic work like that's it's nowhere but up in terms of where the performance is going to go. So it's
I think that's where most people make a crazy mistake is one, they don't know what they're good at. Like I can generate I've not done any fucking training in a long time, so I'm gonna mess it up.
So tomorrow you do your battery of tests for me, and let's check this shit out. I think the 12-minute run would be good for tomorrow.
Not more fucking minute ever. But remember when he did the first test? Like you and fucking Dave were like betting how far I'd run in 12 minutes. I was like, dude, I barely made a mile.
Yeah, I remember that. But you could also do 47 hill sprints in 30 minutes.
I think that's what we fucked up. My heart rate got down so fast. I was literally just running sprints.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my ability to create and generate power over a long period of time is fucking astronomical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us can do it the way we've trained. We started training together in 2016.
16 no. One-on-one, but like Citadel times, that was a little bit different. I don't view that as like the same type of thing.
No, but I mean by what I was doing, like generating power for fucking. I've been doing something like this. I've been grappling for 1999. Like, I've been generating fucking a lot of force for a long period of time over tension for a long time. I think that's part of it's genetic. I'm a genetic freak in that aspect, but like. It's I think it's important to understand like specifically training certain things make for a difference. Like like my aerobic capacity is not running. Just not fucking running. But you can fill the gaps in. And I
Oh,
think,
sure.
dude, here's what I've realized though, thinking about like going over just your everyday athlete. Because, you know, we've got almost 400 members and we've
Mhm.
got probably 30 people who compete in both Muay Thai and or Jiu-Jitsu.
Mhm.
And so about 10%. I'm like, for the vast even, and none of them are, well, Deuce will be, you know, I don't know if you taught Deuce, he's going to be doing Worlds in June. We're going to go to Scotland.
That's awesome.
So yeah. So we'll be setting that up. That motherfucker's getting big for him. He's like 128 pounds. Dude, he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight people his weight finally.
Okay.
You know, the vast majority of his fights have been up at 135, which is fucking a significant percentage of his body weight.
Yep.
You know, and like going, and here's where I don't fucking believe anybody says this shit doesn't know any better. Like somebody being 40 pounds heavier than me is significantly more or significantly less than somebody which is 10, 15% body over me is significantly less than 15% of 125. It just it carries different, man. It just fucking
For sure.
carries different because like I can, you know, at my most I squatted 600 pounds.
Yep.
I'm like, it doesn't matter if you're fucking 500 pounds. Like I can still move you, but versus somebody who's 125, their power output is not the fucking same. But so, you know, getting back to that, I think one of the things that most people overthink, like they overthink a lot of things, but it's like you just need to go do like the 3 key movements.
Mhm.
To squat, you
Mhm.
need to press,
Yep.
you need to deadlift. Like those are things you need to do.
Yep.
And I don't care about bench press. I think it's stupid. I've been injured with it, so that's most of that. But
Yep.
like
Yep.
go do those things in different like in the novice effect, like, you know, people who just got into weightlifting, they can literally do anything. Man, I'm getting these great results. I'm like, yeah, you've never lifted a fucking weight.
Mm-hmm.
When you get guys with me, you know, if I was pursuing power and weight, actual chasing weight numbers now, like if I gain 5 pounds on my bench in a year, it's really fucking impressive.
For sure. For sure.
My bench went up 60 pounds in 6 weeks. I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
so I think, you know, just like, I want your thoughts on it. We wrote my kindergarten program for the gym. I was like, like, what
dumb it down. You kept telling me dumb it down. Like, I can't go any dumber on this.
Crayons. Breathe in. But like, what do you like? What if you're gonna program an everyday athlete?
Yes.
Like 40-year-old, 35, 40-year-old guy works at, you know, does jiu-jitsu 2-3 times a week, loves it, doesn't want to get injured. Like, what do you see the programming like what days should they lift? Should they lift the same day? Should they lift different? I think they should lift the same day if possible.
Yeah.
To maximize recovery. But
so here's kind of what I think is you need to have a period of time where you just train body weight because you have a ton of people that cannot control their own body weight in space. But then you ask them, all right, well, go bench press. And yeah, they're gonna move up because of the novelty of the exercise. And all right, well, everyone bench presses. That's something that's easy to figure out. But can you honestly hold your body in space? Can you honestly get stronger and say, I can do 10 pull-ups? Can I do 15 dips? Can I do 10 push-ups? Or better not, can you even do 1 push-up? Because if we can't do that, now we need to figure out the next step is, all right, well, what's something I can bring that's a level lower? Start to build that capacity so you can do the one thing I want you to be able to do.
Yeah.
But you're talking about how would you structure it? Yeah, absolutely. It's the same day that you train in the mat. And it's only because of you want to structure your body in such a way, you're training in such a way to match your body's demand for that day. Like jiu-jitsu is fucking hard. If you're brand new, every day is an ass kicker.
Yeah.
Like you just want to survive. And the best thing that you can do is match the demand in terms of the training aspect as well. Because the next day you can take that down as a low day. So we always did a high-low with you. All right, we're going to do something demanding one day and it's aerobic the next day or recovery. So when you follow that high-low pattern, next thing we know, all right, your sleep is better. Barring that you eat well, you know, that impacts things. So now we're sleeping well because you eat well, you train well. You're getting better shape because we can build your aerobic system too. And that can be as simple as going for a walk. So it's up to hill sprints. There's a big, vast difference between you and the guy that's 40 years old. He can't see his dick. And he's just walked in there's like, man, I'm tired of getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, I think just a basic, like one dude. I'll tell you right now, I've got a whoop. You ever mess with a whoop strap?
Now I get these ads on YouTube all the time.
It's fucking awesome, man. I'll send you a link if you want to look at it. You get a free month. I think I get a free month or whatever. I pay for a year up front. Dude, it's guided my training so much because, like, and you've known me forever. Like, we'll just push through it. Oh, well, today's a hard training day. We're gonna train hard today.
Yep.
And then tomorrow's supposed to be light day, so we'll go light then. But like monitoring, like, actually having real life, like look, I looked at my thing yesterday. I sent to Jen. I'll pull it up. But like it tells you, like, so it right here says overall recovery is 70%, which is good. Which is in the green zone, so we can train hard that day.
Yep.
It says your optimal strain was 13 or 12.5. I hit 13, which is in the range. So it means you can go hard.
Yep.
There's days I look at that. Dude, my buddy had one. It says 4% recovery. I'm like, holy shit. He goes, I can't do anything today. He goes, which makes sense. He goes, high stress for work. We had a couple drinks last night. We went to bed late. We got up early. Of course, I got fucking 6% recovery. Yep. So today is a walking day, and that's a big thing that I think a lot of the old school bodybuilders and especially powerlifters who are injured all the time. They put, I forget his name. I don't want to say Mark. It's not Mark Bell, but it's one of those guys that they're so emphasized on fucking recovery now that they don't lift, which makes sense because all they did was beat their bodies to death. It's so having a piece of tangible, like actual data, like, hey, train hard today, or hey, take a day off is huge because the whole reason I got the whoop strap and not that ring, I don't want to wear another fucking ring. What? And he had to wear it in a different finger. I was like, no, I'm not doing that shit. But
it's having like the homosexuals.
Yeah,
just dude, like the homosexuals get the pinky ring like the homosexuals.
My uncle, dude. My uncle was a cartoon of a gay. He was so gay they cut his scene out of the birdcage. Like, so if it's in the director's cut or it's either the director's cut or some shit. I forget which version of the movie you can see him, but he drives like a 50-some Cadillac. He's got these big fucking Elton John glasses. It's a cool, and we had a picture of like that screenshot. It's fucking cool as shit picture, man. But awesome. Dude, he had rings on everything. Like, I can only wear one ring. And,
I think that's awesome though.
But yeah, and then the main reason I didn't go with that ring specifically was I didn't want to get fucking degloved doing jujitsu. That's basically. So I got the whoop strap. I wear my wrist sometimes. Dude, don't do jujitsu with the thing on your fucking wrist. You feel like you got your arm broken 100 times. So I wear like on my bicep band. It's fucking great. It's one of the cheaper upgraded, but it tracks, man. It tracks really fucking well once you get it fitted. So I have hard fucking data every single day on what I should and couldn't do. The main reason I bought it was to know when I get sick. Like, it
shows you. Pretty much shows you, doesn't it? Yeah.
When your HRV starts to tank and you're doing everything else right, like it's gonna happen. So because I was June of last year, because 2 years ago, I don't know, when my mom got married in Vegas, I was 199 fucking pounds. I've not been 199 since I was fighting, and it wasn't by choice. I was like, fuck, I was bedridden for 4 days, so I needed some kind of indicator to make sure. I was like, hey man, listen, you can't do this. I was scaling the gym, coaching the fighters, still training hard. I'm like, we got to figure out something. Yeah. And that's where I think that's where the vast majority of people are fucking up is they look at what you do specifically like, oh, I'm not an athlete. I don't need that. Motherfucker, you are an everyday athlete. You got kids. You need to keep up with your kids. You need to be able to fucking pick your kids up.
Yes.
Like off the ground.
It's not even that. It's just for your own well-being though. Like you're going to feel better in your own head, knowing that you've done something that someone else hasn't. At least that's how I viewed it for the first while back. Like in 2020, I didn't train all of 2019. I was soft as fuck when I came back. And it was just like, you know what? But every day I went down there, it was purposely because I knew somebody else wouldn't. I would make them quit without even seeing them. And that was the whole thing behind my head was just like, I'm just going to do this because no one else will.
Well, that's a big thing. Like psychologically for me was fuck you. I'll do it. That was a big thing. And then, I'll prove you wrong. Well, I've already and this is where I've got now. I've already approved that.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I proved them all wrong. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
And when I did the mindset coaching for winning mindset, one of the questions: do you like negative self talk or positive self talk? I was like, I don't know which one it is. I'm like, fuck you. How about that?
Yeah.
I'll prove you wrong. So it was definitely on the negative side, but like as I proved everyone wrong, and I got to a point in my head where I'm like, oh, I don't hate myself anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what? Well, now what am I do? So what I just recently figured out is I don't want Johnny Buck of 2024 to like shake his head in disappointment of the decision I made today.
I like that.
Like that's been a big one for me. Is like, and I don't have kids or anything yet, but like your kids, do I see your fucking kids all the time lifting shit, man? Put that shit down. Fucking bigger than he is. But like whether people know it or not, people are watching you. Like people are watching you. And I just did a 6-week fight camp at the gym. It was 6 a.m. 2 times a week. It was for everyday athletes, people who want to look like a fighter and train like a fighter, but not get beat up, which makes sense. And, I had one of my members, I specifically wrote that entire program for. And I'm like, hopefully more people sign up, because if I get at least, 5 or whatever, I forget what the number was, then I'll keep it. If not, then I'll figure out something else for him. But when he said something to me, and I told him, I was like, he goes, basically somebody was watching him who didn't know he was watching, because no matter how big or small your audience is, somebody's always fucking watching. So being the example for somebody is a big thing for me. Like that's it's been a lot of development lately to get to that point, to get past that in my head. But yeah, dude, like whether you're fucking negative self-talk, positive self-talk, just do the fucking work. Like whatever motivates you. Like I hate motivational posters. I think they're fucking stupid. I don't want to see them.
Yeah.
People love that shit. So I put it on my fucking I put it on my gym Facebook, because here's my thing. Do I need it? No. Do they need it? Probably. Right? Yeah. Fine. Cool. Let's go do that then.
I think it's funny. I'll tie back to that Whoop thing that you're talking about. I've noticed 2 things over the last couple of years. The first one is from working with Justin Harris on nutrition. He told me a week before I was going to be sick every time. And he's like, I can see it in the pictures. You're getting watery and there's nothing wrong because it's dialed in. Like you're going to get sick. Next thing I know, next week I'm sick. So something that visually that you can see in people.
He poisoned you.
No, from Michigan, I guess. But he's like, yeah, I've got 3 guys right now that look the same way. You're all probably going to be sick. And lo and behold, I was sicker than shit the next week. And he's like, it's something that happens in the body. It just starts holding more water. And well, that's what it is. You look softer. The second one is I've got a competitive runner that I'm training right now. Who knew I was a long distance coach? Who knew that? But apparently I am now.
I've done it. I've coached it. I've not done it.
Yeah. Same here. I'm not a long distance runner, but I can work it through my head. This is where we need to be. So anyway, I told him for this week, all right, we're only going to run twice. And he's like, well, why? I said, just the same reason you gave me there. His HRV, which is what is measured on his, he has a Garmin watch.
Yeah.
It says poor recovery. He's in the red. I was like, look at your recovery number. There's no way you're going to do a 20-mile run this week, 1 minute hard, 1 minute easy. You're going to do that regardless. 1 mile hard, 1 mile easy, repeat it for 20 miles. But you're not going to do anything until then because of this. Yeah. And then he's like, well, why'd you move my long run to Thursday? I said, I don't want you to be too fat or too happy because it's Thanksgiving. he thought that was funny. but it's like, you need to look at these things as a holistic thing. Your body will show you when you're about to get sick. HRV, if you use it, will absolutely show you when something's wrong.
Dude, that's why I like
resting heart rate too.
I pay for simplicity. Dude, so my HRV is like 35 on a good day, 40-ish. Mm-hmm. Jen's is like 120. I'm like,
always
am I dying? Am I fucking dying? What does this mean? So I Googled that shit. I'm like, oh, it can range from 20 to 200. I'm like, yeah. But wait, dude, when my HRV hits 27, we know there's a problem. When it hits 41, we can fucking send it. Dude, it's crazy the things that affect HRV for me. Yeah, dude, the thing about I trained a long distance run. I did some remote stuff with them.
Yep.
And I think we was like trade. I was like, hey man, I need this, you need that. I was like, I want to experiment with something I was reading about. I want to see if you're interested. Yeah, cool. So he only ran, like he ran fucking. He goes, yeah. He one day I'll run hard, one day I'll run this. I'll do sprints, I'll do that. I'm like, all right, it's fucking stupid. I was like, when's your next race? He goes, well, I'm not racing for like 6 months. I'm like, all right, perfect.
Yep.
I got this idea because if it fucks up, we can always go back to your regular training.
Yep.
So what we did was I dropped his carbs out because
you don't need fat.
Yeah, you don't need carbs to slog.
Mm-hmm.
And then so we dropped his carbs out, and he's pretty tough. So we dropped him to 0 for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you get no carbs. I'm like, bitch, what did I tell you? No carbs. Like you can have a broccoli one time. And so we did that. Then we introduced. I think it was limited to 50 carbs a day, like regular carbs, not counting fiber. Blah 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 blah. And they had to be peri-workout. So we had him deadlifting. So I cut his running volume just to make the math easy. Say he's running 100 miles a week, which he wasn't. We dropped it down to like 60, 70 miles a week. So we dropped it 30, 40%. And we lifted.
Yep. In place.
We deadlifted, we squatted, and we did sprints. He did this is just me being mean, I think, honestly. I'm like, Jeff did this to me. Or you or Nate, I forget which. We did the giant sets and sprints.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, so, dude, he cussed me. He goes, I can't run. I'm like, you're going to fucking run tomorrow. You're going to slog your ass around the fucking whatever park it is you run at for 45 minutes tomorrow.
Yep.
And he goes, man, I'm fucking trashed. And afterwards, I'm like, how do you feel? He goes, man, I feel great.
Yep.
After 4 weeks, his split, because he didn't run a marathon, because we weren't ready for that point. But his split times for his mile was fucking like 20% better. His 3 mile was significant. But see, he runs in the mountains here.
Okay.
So if you're gonna run up a fucking mountain, know what you need? Power.
Yep.
And I was like, hey man, I was like, what's your favorite fucking like donut, cake, pastry? He goes, I'm like, have that about 4 hours before you run. That motherfucker said, dude, that was like steroids. So, we fat adapted him for long distance. We made him stronger, and then we gave him carbs. I'm like,
set the process.
And he set 3 PRs for different distances, like that at the 6 month mark.
Yep.
It just goes back to the basics of fucking training: lift weights, eat, recover.
Yeah.
Hydration.
A lot of runners are afraid to do the lifting part, but like my guy Mike, he can squat 315 on any day. He can pull 315 plus on any day. He can bench press 245 on any day. And it's just like, all right, well, we eye low him. And Saturday's always his big run day. He went did the Air Force 10K and finished 12th out of like 600 some odd people.
Fuck, dude.
I said it wasn't enough though. 2 girls beat him. He's like, yeah, these girls just skated by me.
Tripping.
Yeah, but he's he wants to run a 315 marathon coming up in April. I'm like, dude, we're gonna run sub 3. You watch it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I think there's a lot of benefit to it. I think that like one thing I don't do is I don't run distance.
Yeah.
I'm going to, for the only reason, and it may just be like, hey, Johnny, you're an idiot. You're going to go run a fucking 10K today. No, 5K, whatever 3 miles is. That 5K.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm running fucking 10. Because I think just a general human things, you should be able to do a pull-up. You should be able to squat all the way to the ground. You should be able to run fucking – I don't think a mile's enough, honestly. I think you should be able to run a 5K.
I like that.
And the only reason is this. Like, I'm a big dude. I'm fucking 5'10". I look like I've been drugged behind a truck. My ears are all fucked up. When I'm just looking at something, thinking about it, I look terrifying. I saw a picture of it. So – and I'm big as fuck, and I've been fighting for a long time, and I'm not running from a goddamn thing.
Yep.
I'm going to fight it right here. We're going to die here. But here's what I can't. I'm like, what if my wife is a mile away?
Yep. You gotta go.
What if I can't physically do something and I have to run a mile to get their help? Like, fuck. Because of the adrenaline will carry. No, it won't. I know for a fucking fact. When I was big as shit, juice out of my fucking mind, anything over 5 was a cardio set. Like, my dog got out and chasing a fucking cat or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran after him. I'm like, felt great. About a quarter mile into it, I was blowing up, dude. And like at that point in time, there's nothing more important on earth than my dog. Like, I almost killed my neighbor over it. Like, listen, adrenaline's not going to carry you. Like, it's just not. It's good for picking up cars if you're an 8-year-old woman, not running. Like, so it's just, you know. So I think that the GPP is just one, abysmal in this country, and 2, like, it's just something you need to do. Like, you have to. I have running shoes. I actually bought specifically for running trails. Come to find out, they don't work for shit. They're too thin, dude. Like, I can feel rocks under the earth in these fucking things. So I bought another pair. I have a pair now. It's for road running. I'll just deal with it. I used to run through the woods and chuck tails when I was a kid. I don't need traction.
I like that. Like I had a wake up call kind of like that. And I'm paraphrasing this by saying I do not run at all. My cardio is on my elliptical and it's on my bike downstairs. But anyway, we got this bike delivered and we couldn't find my 6-year-old. And at the time he was 2. Can't find him anywhere in the house. Like I have the older 2 outside looking for him. Can't find him. And finally I look out the basement door and this dude went out of the house and started running up the street. He's a quarter mile down the road. It's snowing. So I bust out the house and he's a quarter mile away and it's uphill. I'm like, fuck, you know, like, Kyler, stop running. He keeps
that's my strong suit. Quarter mile uphill, I'm gonna catch him.
Yeah. So I caught him, I caught him because he's 2.5. But it's like, damn, I was freaking gassed after that. It's like I gotta start doing something. Good thing my bike got delivered today.
Yeah.
But here's something I want to ask you. I don't think I've ever really talked about it with you. What did your training look like during Bellator times, and how did it change once we got together?
Dude, so that's what's fucking crazy. I walk around. I took my picture the other day. Like, it was like 2 days ago. I took my picture. I'm 228 pounds with fucking a 6-pack, like mostly a 6-pack. My body responds to lifting weights. It really likes it. But the way my body partitions recovery is mass, not fucking recovering. So I didn't lift weights at all. I did almost no lifting.
Yep.
We did body weight stuff. We did so I was really fortunate. My coach, he did bodybuilding. He did obviously MMA. He fought in Japan and shit. Him and his wife was a fucking phenomenal triathlete. He trained people, so he understood how to. So we were taking VO2 boost from it used to be EPO boost. They changed the name because of the fucking band. It's waterproof. It's super fucking legit. So we had all these really fucking good information. So we understood that we didn't have to be able to bench 500 pounds or squat 1,000 pounds. We had to be able to generate as much fucking force as possible for as long as time as possible. And the thing we focused on was getting my heart rate down faster than my opponent. So we fight for 5 minutes. We go out there, just say we're both, opponent and I are both at 200 beats per minute. I can drop my fucking heart rate down to 150. He can only drop to 170. So when I push that pace, he's at max heart rate for 45 seconds before I am. And if you're at fucking pinned to the red line that early on, then I'm just gonna keep grinding on you. It's just, and that's what I do really well in jiu-jitsu now. But I really did very, very minimal weight training. It's just my body didn't, and you gotta remember, I did a bod pod, which is basically one of the most accurate body fat tests you can do. And my lean body mass was 190 pounds. I was fighting at 170. I was cutting down to 170. He goes, you know what this means, don't you? I'm like, He goes, let's go. He goes, let's go get one more good meal in. I'm like, Mexican. Dude, I ate 50 fucking things of chips. I ate quesadillas wrapped in quesadillas and shit, dude. I probably shit nonstop today, but yeah, dude, I really had to minimize that. But we did a lot of isometric. We did a lot of tempo work. We'd have like a medicine ball or a small kettlebell. Dude, kettlebells are hard to find back then.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I said, oh man, we get a foam roll. Fucking, you had to order a foam roll.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
You had to order it, and then it was like $70 shipping for. Yep. So what we did, we took 4-inch PVC, we put tape around it and a spiral so you had to slide off and break your fucking neck. But yeah, man, I didn't do a lot, but we did a lot of body weight stuff and one thing we did on our hard training days, we always fucking conditioned first. We got in trouble for some stupid shit we did. It was merited. Like, we squatted for 45 fucking minutes or an hour.
Yep.
Like, well, because now you can train. Like, we had more fucking people quit because this is the old school, like old school, like shoot fighting, like Frank Shamrock, those guys. Like, that's the kind of training we did. It was body weight, Hindu squats for fucking days. Those stupid push-ups that killed my shoulders, those dive bombers or whatever. Or Hindu push-ups. Like, we did a lot of stuff like that. And really, that's all you need, And but yeah, that was a big part of it, was just making sure, because I was losing weight. Like, when we carb cycled the first time, so when people carb cycle, we did 100. So I was 200 pounds. We did 300, 200, 100, 50, 0, 0, 0. That's the carbs I had. And training as a fighter, like, when I was on day 2 or 3 of 0, which is unheard of for carb cycling.
It sucks.
I got my ass beat. I was a pro. On my way, it was right before Bellator. I got my ass beat by a 145-pound amateur. Like, the next time we went to that same gym, he goes, "Hey man, how many carbs does it have today?" I'm like, 50. He goes, "Do 200." I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Went ate my body weight in rice. And dude, there wasn't enough people in the gym. Like, they physically, I was doing 1-minute rounds with people. They kept cycling them in, and it just literally ran out of fucking people. Right? And but dude, I think people overcomplicate strength and conditioning. But again, like, I have a very strong base of lifting. Like, I think even at any point in time, we could have put 225 on my back and hit 20 plus reps for squat. Like, it's just, I have, that's a base. I think it's a base line of strength for me. But I've been lifting since fucking 99. So, but yeah, it wasn't a lot, but a lot of conditioning. And then for the weight management side, this is what fucking sucked. And I hate treadmills. I would run 45 minutes in the morning. So this is some more heart rate specific shit. I think it was, I had to keep it at 135, I think. I don't remember. Over 135 for 45 minutes in the morning and 45 minutes at night. And it was, dude, I'm talking like fucking 1,200 calories. Like, it's, and training and coaching and all that shit. I'm like, yeah, it sucked. But that was a part of the back to the negative self-talk. These motherfuckers aren't able to cut the weight, let alone fight. So that was a big thing for me. But yeah, dude, it was a very different thing. Now with strength conditioning, with me having no weight limit for worlds, different animal, because now we can lift.
Now you can train.
Now we can actually develop more power. I think that's a big thing that most people overcomplicate, though. I think, like, if you have no fucking clue about programming or lifting, and you just don't want to spend the money and invest in yourself, 531. Just download 531. It's everywhere for free. Just do the main lifts. Don't do any accessory work, and then like, that's what you need to do. That probably 45 minutes before you train. Have a shake. Spike your carbs. Good fast processing protein. Something else. And then I think that's the basic. I don't know. I don't think 531 is that great, but it does what it does.
Yeah, it gives someone something just to go off of, because someone, like you say, someone just needs a blueprint, and eventually you do the blueprint long enough, you realize, well, what if I try this? And what if I try that? and then you start to learn. You know, that's
I
the fun part of that process. Is you start to
saw
learn.
somebody had one of the newer versions of it,
Yep.
and it's fucking good, man. Like
Oh, yeah.
Boring and Big is my favorite.
Yep.
Because it's fast, and you so you do your main lift, 5 plus or 5-3-1, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Then you do 3 sets of 10 the same lift
Yep.
at a different weight. I'm like,
Yep.
huh. So I did for
Yeah.
a while. I did for a long
And
time.
I find myself coming back to that sometimes too.
Like,
It's just, oh, well, hit a heavy triple. All right, I don't feel like
Yeah.
moving up. All right, let's just come back down to this. Do some rep work.
dude, yeah.
These
Have
grooves.
you ever done DC training or dog crap training?
Yeah, I have a very funny story about that. So,
Dude, that's my favorite program.
Yeah. So my runner Mike, okay, he was
Yeah.
an intern of mine in 2008. He was an intern for mine, and we're talking about training. He's into bodybuilding and this and that, and I'm like, hey, have you ever heard of DC training? He's like, well, no. What is it? I said, well, just look up dog crap training. And I go off for this meeting, and I come back, and he's next to my desk at work, and this dude is white as a ghost. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? He's like, I'm sorry. I looked up dog crap training like you told me to, and it brought me on like this dog porn. Look, I'm sorry. I don't want to get you fired. I was like, how did you take dog crap training?
2 G's, 2
and
P's,
you-
bro. 2 G's, 2 P's.
and then you end up here? Like, how did you do that? He's like, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh my
Like, dude,
God.
I'm rolling like the entire time over this.
If that's what you got fired for, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, so, like, get rid of the intern. I'm sorry. I love you, dude. I mean, you followed me down here from Buffalo, but you're done. You're done. He's a good dude though. But that's my DC story. But like Dante's an awesome dude, man. Dante's an awesome dude. Like he'll answer anything.
Did you ever read the interview about that? How it happened? How it got named that?
No. Was it just like he just threw a name out?
That was his screen name.
Okay.
And he goes, had I known how, and the original form he posted it.
Yep. Get big. I think that's where he was at.
Get 190 pages.
Yeah.
So it got so big that the moderators turned the page off. But like you said, he answered every question.
Yep. And he'll do that to this day. You can message him on Instagram.
Really?
It might be a day, but he'll answer you.
That's
cool.
Like
he's very cool. Like he's very down to earth.
So for people who don't know what it is, so dog crap training, DC training, which I think DC training is a better name for it publicly, but like the idea was you have an A day and a B day, like just to make it easy, front side, back side, or upper, lower, whatever, and you train either 3 to 4 times a week, and it was just rest pause sets, and you didn't have to do anything else. But like I didn't get any size off of it really. I got strong as fuck. But I didn't put a bunch of size on like everybody else did. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I was done in fucking 40 minutes.
Yeah.
There's
aspects like you that I love about it.
The calf training,
that's the one right there.
God.
And the Widowmakers, like on squat, to put someone through a 20 rep squat, that's a legit 20 rep.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that.
Yeah, I remember
like for me, I don't feel safe doing it without a Smith machine.
I do. So I got really lucky when I was doing that. We had a vertical Smith machine, so it wasn't angled at all.
Yep.
We had a vertical leg press as well.
Yep.
So that made my alternative days a lot better.
For sure.
But I wouldn't do a regular leg press.
Yep.
The only reason is I refused to load that motherfucker up. I just wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
Like fucking 10 plates on each side. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
But we would squat. Dude, I had fucking world champion like athletes at that gym. Guy won the sheath throw for the Highlands game. We had a couple other bodybuilders. We had strongmen and shit in there. We had guys setting fucking world records for bench and shit. So like, if you dropped 400 pounds, it wasn't a big deal. So that gym was acceptable. But yeah, we had a lot of good shit. It's still there. It's Biltmore Fitness. It's still there. Danny Sharp still owns it. But yeah, man, there's a bunch of good machines and shit. But it's one of my favorites. And then like that 100 method, I had you right.
Yeah.
Modify. That's another one. That's what I was doing when I was real busy because I didn't want to completely lose everything lifting wise. I would just do 100, whatever
Mhm.
exercise it was that day. Well, it took, and then the thing I found was if I could do it in 3 to 5 sets, that was a good weight. If it
For
took
sure. Oh,
if it
oh
took
yeah.
like 6 or more sets, it was too heavy. If it took, I could do it in 3 sets or less. It was too light. 3 would be good, for like shoulders and stuff, like where you can't go super heavy, but you can fucking melt your shoulders. Did
Mhm.
well with that, but I just think general training stuff.
Yeah. And I don't know. Like I think we've got two kind of opposing views about training, but we both have a very common theme.
Yeah.
Is like the end result is the accumulation of work.
Well, I
Is
think I think the big thing is it depends on what your goal is. Like that's the biggest fucking thing.
Yep.
If you just want to be, you want to be a 1%er, you want to be the 1% of Americans who can do a fucking pull up, who can run a mile.
That's
Like, and,
sad.
and that sounds bad, but it's true. Like, if you want to do that, then you just need to do like GPP shit. You can do any fucking weightlifting thing you want. It doesn't even have to have rhyme or reason. You can just do it. Like find any fucking program, go to bodybuilding.com and take their stupid shit. You can do kettlebells, you can do 5-3-1, you can do DC training. Where I think it really fucking matters is for athletes, like people who like, well, I want to be the next UFC champ, or I want to do this. I'm like, well, then that's a very specific fucking thing.
For sure.
And they're like, well, what would you do? I said, I would hire Jeff. Like, what you mean? What have I done, Jeff? Like that's the answer. I had Jeff write the programs because I know for a fact that if I write my own program, it won't be as good as yours. But more importantly, I can talk to myself. But you know what? You didn't need to write that 5th set in there. You spent 4. I'm like, nah, 4 is good enough. Nobody else is doing this shit. I'm like, fuck this.
That's the truth, though.
It is. I can program for you. It'd be great. Probably better than shit you program for yourself.
You're probably right. You're probably right. And the more I find myself skipping out on things I know I need to do, it's like,
Yep.
I'm a back squat today. Box squat sounds awful good.
Ooh, goblet squats, 12-pound kettlebell. Perfect.
Double front squat, 97s. Hey, my butthole's gonna pop out.
We had 2 75-pound kettlebells when we were doing. I forget. Oh, the first worlds.
Yep.
That's what we were doing for fucking front squats. That's the heaviest we had a set of.
Yep.
I couldn't. I forget why we couldn't Zercher. It was some kind of injury. I don't remember.
That's an unreal movement. That's so hard to do, and people have no idea. Like if I had known about kettlebells as a college strength coach, like dude, that would be my entire freshman program. Like if you can't double kettlebell front squat like 90s, then we have a problem by the time we're done.
Remember that fucking dude that I got fired because he sucked? I forget his name.
Not Tim.
No. He had us 6 weeks in with a fucking PVC bar over our head.
Oh yeah, you told me about that guy.
Yeah, he got fired. Coach Lair yelled at me for being mean. And then Coach Lair apologized. Like it's as close as an apology you'll get from Coach Lair.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I told you.
Yeah. I love that dude. Like he was here's how I know he was a good dude. The very first day I see him, I'm like, you look so familiar. Where have I seen you before? And I go home and I watch Family Guy. I'm like, holy shit, Peter Griffin, it's Coach Lair. What the hell? Am I wrong though?
Dude, it's fucking true.
It's an uncanny resemblance.
Oh my god!
But he was such a good dude. Like he would take it 2 dips out of a can, and like this guy was a fiend.
Well, he's honestly the reason I graduated. I can wrestle, yeah.
Because he was compliance, wasn't he? He was a compliance guy when you were done, right?
He went to compliance at the last 2 years I was there.
Yeah. And
the Citadel was a fucking shit show for me. I learned a lot. You can game the system however you want. So, that's really all I learned. But so they dropped my major after my freshman year. So I have a biology education degree or major. That we're going to get rid of it because I don't fucking know something. All right, cool. But since you already signed up, you can keep it. I'm like, cool, no big deal. We're not going to offer half the fucking classes you need. I'm like, what? And dude, listen, I went to college just to fucking wrestle. That was it. I did not give a fuck about getting my education. I was going to go in the army otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, that was my plan. You take wrestling, I'm out. And so because of that, Coach Lair went to the department head and said, hey, this happened, blah, 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 blah. He goes, we're going to count human sexuality was one of the health electives as a biology class. I'm like, fuck yeah, cool. And then I forget what else. And that was after the fact, though, because they didn't tell me that I just wasted fucking that semester taking classes that didn't count. It was a fucking shit show. Like, hey, and here, I didn't give a fuck about the class. It was like, hey, you're not eligible to wrestle this summer or next year. I'm like, so he fixed that. And then he got, I'm blaming him for this. I had to take a fucking grad school course to keep eligibility for, because it's the only genetics course they offered for the next year and a half. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Dude, it was awesome though, man. That was like Dr. Darden. She was fucking awesome. Do you remember the Super Baby that they in Germany? It was a world-class sprinter mom and a long-distance runner dad who just happened to meet each other in Germany in the 50s. The baby was born with 0 myostatin.
Really?
Yeah. The mom had like 75% less, dad had 50% less, or vice versa. I don't know what the fuck. The baby came out with fucking delts and shit and quads. I'm like, you little motherfucker.
That's
but
wild.
She got to study that kid. Like,
seriously.
Fucking neat, man. Yeah. The only concern they had, because there's no myostatin, which is, the growth inhibitor for muscle, was his heart getting too big and his tongue.
Huh.
But I'm like, did they? She's like, no. I'm like, was it because it's smooth muscle? She goes, probably. She has probably a big part of it. Because, like, no matter how much you, like, fucking lift weights with your tongue or whatever.
Oh, yeah. It's not going to get bigger.
Yeah. Well, we know that fucking your heart getting bigger is real.
Oh yeah. That's for real.
Especially as of late, but
that's interesting though.
Yeah, it was fucking cool. Yeah, I was in her class, but
yeah, like I had one class down there that sticks out in my mind. It was a stats course. It was like writing, not the stats itself, but it was like how you write papers to match the statistical aspects of things. Yeah. So anyway, this guy had me in there, and it's like, give us our first writing or whatever. And he pulls me aside after class. Is like, how the fuck did you even pass middle school? Like, are you did you read this? Did you read anything that you wrote? I'm like, well, yeah, I wrote it. He's like, no, you write like a 5th grader. We have to fix this. That guy helped me out so much.
That's fucking
just because he was just honest with me. He's like, your writing sucks. Like, you need to fix this now.
Dude,
so I spent a lot of time with him.
I dumbed down my placement test. It's, at the Citadel, like as an undergrad, you take your placement test when you get there, like during your fucking knob year, right before Hell Week starts. So you take that. I wrote like I was fucking retarded, which is not a stretch. So they put me in there, and I'm looking around. I'm like, all these motherfuckers are stupid as shit. So I went to my teacher, Dr. Houston. He's cool as fuck. I took every class he had for English. I was like, hey, is this a remedial class? He goes, well, it's a lower level class. I'm like, does it count towards my grade to graduate? He goes, oh, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. He goes, I'm going to ask you a question. He goes, be honest with me. He goes, did you kind of tank your writing test? I'm like, yeah, a little bit. He goes, did you know that you were on the verge of not being allowed to be, you're taking 2 classes to get up to, as I'm like, no, this is the bottom tier class you can get. I'm like, he goes, I want to see better work from you this semester. Dude, he actually really helped me learn how to write, like reasonable, because dude, fucking high school's a scam. It's for sports and socialization, let's be honest. So I'm like, dude, I'm a great fucking writer. Like I read a fucking shitload. So
I was like you. My first English class in college was a class that didn't count for a credit, and I was in there, and I remember writing something one day that was incredibly controversial, And I handed it to the teacher. He's like, he folds it up and sticks it in his pocket and says, we're just going to pretend that this didn't happen. I was like, okay. But anyway, before that, I wrote this paper about why the 426 Hemi was the greatest engine ever made. And I listed all the cars and this and that and how many races it won. This girl in this class reads this thing. She's like, what the fuck is this? And like, I could have murdered her right there. I put my soul into that.
How dare you?
What the fuck is this? This is terrible. Got you. I see you. Right. Never again. Never again. You go hit by a bus.
Yeah, dude.
That's it. No, but it kind of, just being an older guy now, it reminds me that not everyone gives a shit about what you give a shit about.
Well, I fucking do. I don't give a fuck what they think. It makes life a lot easier. Everybody's recommended, like, hey, you need to read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck or whatever. Like,
that's a great book.
I wrote that motherfucker. I don't know if I don't know who wrote it, but they stole that shit from me. I'm like, I'm not giving a fuck since ever.
That's awesome. Well, good deal, man. I kept you on here for almost an hour. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Any parting words you want to do? Plug your business.
No, man. I don't fucking want to do any more people. No, if you're looking to get in jiu-jitsu, MMA, Muay Thai, whatever, and you're in the Asheville area, or just you coming through, swing by. That's a big thing I'm doing right now is running that. But like, just when it comes to general strength training, dude, just do something. Do fucking anything. Stop being fat. Stop being lazy. Like, and like, you don't have to be a bodybuilder. Like, just make a fucking effort, dude. That's what it comes down to. And dude, you know what's crazy? And is like one of the things that I see. Like, I'm nervous about going to the gym because I'm overweight. It's something, I owning the gym. I was really nervous about coming into the gym because I'm overweight. I'm like, listen, nobody in the vast majority of places, like Planet Fitness, fuck those guys. Gold's Gym also fuck those guys. But the vast majority of gyms, if you are overweight or if you are fucking self-conscious or whatever situation, they're gonna help you. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, I've been fucking overweight as shit. I've been so unhealthy that it was I thought I was gonna die when I ran a quarter mile. Like, you at 2019, you were big as fuck. Like, we want to see other people do this shit. We didn't do it. Like, we've been, and the only thing is, like, every once in a while we'll forget we made that climb too. Yeah. We're obviously we're on top of the mountain, but we're up higher. Just help the motherfuckers do it, man. I think that's where people don't really understand it is, like, we want to do this shit. Like, nobody got into this industry for money. But yeah, man, just fucking do something. Do literally anything. And if anybody needs any advice, tips, whatever, shoot me a DM. I'm more than happy to fucking talk to you about it. Instagram, at Johnny Buck, the number 2. It's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me, or Facebook, either one. So
awesome, man. Like I said, man, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, dude.
Have a happy Thanksgiving with the wife, man.
You too. All right.
Appreciate you, brother. Bye.
Yeah.